You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unat Gentry. It is Thursday, June 15th. And in our major story today, former President Donald Trump pleads not guilty as court proceedings begin. RJ Camacho gives us all those details.
Moments after Donald Trump pleaded not guilty to federal charges that he hoarded classified documents and then conspired to obstruct an investigation about it, the Republicans in Congress had his back. Speaker Kevin McCarthy dashed off a fundraising email decrying the witch hunt against the former president and urging donors to sign up and stand with Trump. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell steered clear of criticizing the former president, refusing to engage in questions about the unprecedented indictment. And at the public meeting in the Capitol basement, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene compared the case against Trump to the federal prosecution of people at the January 6, 2021 insurrection, suggesting in both instances it was the Justice Department, not the defendants, under scrutiny. The mounting legal jeopardy Trump finds himself in has quickly become a political rallying cry for the Republicans, many of whom acknowledged they had not fully read the 49-page federal indictment, but stood by the indicted former president, adopting his grievances against the federal justice system as their own. Despite 2 impeachment trials, New York state charges of hush money payments to porn star, a pair of probes into Trump's efforts to undo the 2020 election, and now the federal case over his classified documents, Trump has shown an ability to not just withstand legal scrutiny, but to thrive off of it. As Trump's defenders in Congress see it, he will rise politically, precisely because of all the investigations against him. Republicans in Congress are reframing the historic indictment of a former president as an unfair political persecution. Republicans also see the federal case against Trump as a winning political strategy to motivate aggrieved voters to the polls in 2024 elections, when the House and 1/3 of the Senate will be up for another term alongside the presidential nominees. In a 37-count indictment, prosecutors alleged Trump knowingly stored highly sensitive national security documents at his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida, and then schemed to provide false information to investigators who tried to retrieve the government papers. He could face a potentially lengthy prison sentence if convicted. Across the Capitol at his weekly press conference, McConnell, the Republican leader of the Senate, declined to use his position to take sides. Questioned about Trump's indictment, he said, "I'm not going to start commenting on the various candidates we have for president."
In our top local story, a cable line is struck by a heavy equipment vehicle and possibly a tractor or backhoe that fled the scene at Fort Churchill and Reno Street. Valley Electric immediately responds to the scene to begin repairs and to assist as the line was on the roadway. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies also arrive on scene, and deputies are making every effort to locate the driver of that heavy equipment vehicle. After the incident, a Valley Electric spokesperson confirms it was a phone line, possibly from AT&T, and not a power line. Fortunately, there were no injuries. And U.S. senators recently presented a bill meant to give mental health aid to Nevada's emergency responders. RJ Camacho reports.
On June 14th yesterday, Senators Jackie Rosen and Deb Fischer introduced the Helping Emergency Responders Overcome Act, or the HERO Act, which is to help improve federal mental health support programs to be available to our nation's firefighters, law enforcement, and other emergency response personnel. First responders in Nevada have recently highlighted the need to increase mental health resources, including by declaring mental health a top priority. This bill would would be able to help those first responders by being able to direct the Department of Health and Human Services to collect data on first responder suicides and help determine best practices for identifying and treating post-traumatic stress and combating suicide. This would also introduce and establish a federal grant initiative for peer-to-peer counseling programs to address firefighter and emergency medical services mental health challenges. Senator Jackie Rosen states, "Our nation's first responders are heroes who regularly put themselves in harm's way to save lives and protect communities, which can take an enormous toll on their mental health. We must take action to make sure our firefighters, law enforcement officers, and paramedics in Nevada have the mental health resources they need." Senator Fisher states, "I'm pleased to co-lead the HERO Act because our firefighters and first responders deserve our full support." She continues stating, "These brave men and women put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe, often at the expense of their own physical and mental health." Edward Kelly, who is the general president of the International Association of Firefighters, chimes in as well, stating, "Every day, firefighters and rescue workers respond to some of the most dangerous and demanding emergencies imaginable. These responses take an enormous toll on firefighters' mental health and place them at risk for developing a variety of behavioral health conditions. We owe it to firefighters to ensure they have the resources to stay safe on the job."
You're watching Southern Nevada's leading news network right here on News 25. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, we have a follow-up on a missing person and a body found in rural Nevada back in the late 1970s. But in March of 2022, that investigation led to the assistance of an American company that specializes in forensic genealogy to perform advanced forensic DNA testing of the female remains and a genealogy search. And as a result of that new technology, several new investigative leads have developed, resulting in the female remains being identified as Florence Charleston of Cleveland, Ohio. Subsequent investigation reveals that Charleston moved to Portland, Oregon sometime in the early 1970s, but family members lost contact with her by 1978. The investigation into Charleston's death is still ongoing, and anyone with information on this case is requested to contact the Nevada State Police Investigation Division at 775-684-7456. In more local news, a Pahrump man who stole the same truck twice is now back in jail.
On March 20th, Nye County Sheriff deputies responded to a report of a stolen vehicle. As deputies arrived to the location of the reporting party and owner of the vehicle here in Pahrump, the owner told officers that he let his friend Kenny borrow his truck for less than an hour on March 18th, but Kenny allegedly never returned the vehicle. The owner located his truck on March 20th at a tire shop on 161 South Frontage Road and confronted Kenny. According to the report, the owner told officers that he had stated to Kenny that he was not allowed to drive his truck anymore. He also said Kenny then walked away with a backpack, a horse saddle, and the key to his truck and walked across Highway 160. The owner then called Nye County Sheriff's Office to have Kenny trespassed from his property and to try and get the key back. The owner did not know Kenny's last name but had his phone number. A records check of Kenny's number identified him as Kenny Osborne. An employee at the tire shop reported that a man, Kenny, had parked the truck in front of the tire shop, and the employee identified him as a white male adult in his 30s wearing baggy clothing, who tried selling the employee the horse saddle. The same witness saw the man, Kenny, returning later in the day. The next time the employee looked, the truck was gone. Another witness also reported seeing a male crossing Highway 160 with a horse saddle. The owner had called deputies again to report the truck was stolen once more from the tire shop, but that he found it again in the garden center of Walmart parking lot, and that he saw Kenny returning to the truck where the owner confronted him a second time. Quickly after making contact, Kenny ran away. A photo was taken of Kenny running away and provided to officers. Kenny was wearing an oversized white top and baggy pants. As officers searched the owner's vehicle, they discovered the horse saddle in the back seat and a Nevada identification card issued to Kenneth Osborne. A security camera matched the driver's license photo of Kenneth Osborne. According to the declaration of arrest, officers eventually caught up with Kenny and placed him under arrest and took him to the Nye County Detention Center. Kenneth Osborne is being charged with grand larceny of a motor vehicle.
Well, Juneteenth is Monday, June 19th, but the celebrations typically run through June 13th through the 19th. So this year, Pahrumph's local Joy Divine Church is hosting its very own Juneteenth event. RJ Camacho catches up with the secretary of the Juneteenth Committee for information on that important celebration, which is now a Nevada state holiday.
So I am super excited this year. Joy Divine Community Church is going to be hosting our very first official Juneteenth celebration. We have had small celebrations for like the past 3 years. It was kind of just locally put together with me and my family, kind of like handing out food and stuff like that. And this year, the word got out and the community has just been like so encouraging and very enthusiastic, and just the amount of support has just been really amazing to get everything together. We've got a lot of great vendors coming out, and we're going to be having awesome, fun stuff to do for the kids. We're going to have a face painter. We have a bounce house. We have the fire department coming out. Like, it's a whole really fun family situation, and I'm excited for it. And I hope I get to meet all of you amazing people out there. And if anyone needs to get a hold of me, I'll have my phone number on the flyer, but it's 775-764-7058. And then I know that we have our treasurer, Annie Young, and the lead, who is the pastor of the church hosting, is Pastor Vivian Chess. And I'll have all of her contact information put out as well. So if anyone wants to join in last minute, we're taking everybody who wants to be a part of it and celebrating. And if you would like to be a part of or be kept up to date for future events, we do have a Facebook page, and it's called PV Juneteenth Celebration. So check us out, and I hope we see you there.
This Juneteenth celebration will be, of course, held on June 19th at Petrick Park and Baru Community Center, starting at 10 a.m. and ending at 6 p.m. Don't forget, for more information, contact Janice at 775-766-6090.
And congratulations to our Stanley Cup champions, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Information on their celebratory parade after the break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, your 2023 Stanley Cup champions, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, are announcing details about their upcoming championship parade.
The Vegas Golden Knights in Clark County announced plans for the team's Stanley Cup Championship Parade on Las Vegas Boulevard and Rally at Toshiba Plaza on Saturday, June 17th. Fans are invited to celebrate with Golden Knight players, coaches, executives, and owners along the parade route, which begins at Flamingo Road at 7 p.m. The parade route extends to Tropicana Boulevard. Both sides of Las Vegas Boulevard will be closed during the parade. The parade will culminate with a rally at Toshiba Plaza and the Park District in front of T-Mobile Arena beginning at approximately 9 p.m. Further details for attendees and broadcast information on the parade and rally will be announced as it becomes available and posted on VegasGoldenKnights.com.
In today's health news, knowing what health issues run in your family can help prevent or even treat chronic diseases. And doctors say that getting together with your family to celebrate the holidays, like on this upcoming Father's Day, can be a great time for you to check up on your family health history.
Your own family history is really important, and it's often overlooked. It oftentimes informs decision making with you and your healthcare team, whether it relates to certain screening tests that you might be qualifying for, or managing chronic diseases in a different way if certain problems run in your family.
When it comes to your family health history, Dr. Corey Fisher with Cleveland Clinic says the more information you can get, the better. Asking your dad and other first-degree relatives is a good place to start, but any health information you can gather from your grandparents, uncles, and aunts can be helpful as well. Dr. Fisher says it's crucial for everyone to be aware of a history of cardiovascular disease since it impacts nearly half of all adults in the United States. It's also useful to know if certain cancers run in your family, as earlier initial screenings may be recommended due to an increased risk. For example, men are 2 to 3 times more likely to get prostate cancer if their father or another close relative has the disease.
Health screenings are vitally important. So most of the pushback I get about cancer screening specifically is that patients say that they feel well. They don't have symptoms, and so they don't feel that a test might be necessary. But the key to screening tests is catching disease early. And so if we do a screening test when you're asymptomatic, we're much more likely, if we find something, to find something that's treatable.
Medical experts also say that it's key to establish a good relationship with your primary care physician and to review your family health history during annual physicals.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Look at that beautiful nature scene of ducks wading in a pond with the beautiful skies behind them. We'll take a closer look at those temperatures and maybe we can wade in waters like that during this Father's Day weekend.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios worldwide on that local BTV app, the app you need on your phone, and all up and down the highways of Nevada on the Ace Country Radio Network. Hello, well, this is weather. Look at this, Fernley, 78 degrees. So is Carson City. They make a little weather sandwich with Fallon in the middle at 80 degrees. 77 out there, and Tonopah makes you the Cool Spot Award once again. Man, I think it's about a week running. Congratulations. 80 out in Goldfield. 89 we see in Beatty, and 96 in Amargosa, our perpetual perennial Hotspot Award winner. 91 out there in Las Vegas, and 107 in Death Valley. Oh my, you got even hotter than yesterday. Congratulations. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's look, 91 degrees. That's our current temperature. It was 93 just a little bit earlier. Starting to get a little sweaty out there, but the wind relieves us to the tune of 10 miles per hour out of the south-southwest, and we appreciate that. Sun rose this morning at 5:25 a.m. Setting this evening, look forward to 8:02. We may see some showers tonight, little sprinkles in the atmosphere up there, and they could be coming down throughout the evening. We'll check that out as we try and dodge those and head for our low tonight of 71 degrees. Sounds pretty good. As we head on into the week, well, what do we see? Well, Friday, let's get some clouds covered all over it, but it looks like we got 6 days of sunshine after that. Winds start being a factor on Sunday evening, 23 mile an hour winds, average gusts through Sunday and Monday, and then Tuesday we start to get a break. The temperatures come up from the mid-80s into the low 90s once again. It's going to be kind of a hit and miss next stretch of weather, but I think the weekend's going to be lovely. All right, so make those plans. Back to the desk. Here's Jeanette Gentry.
Thanks so much, John, for that sunny Father's Day weekend forecast. And we'd like to wish a happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. And I would especially like to acknowledge my dad, Dr. Gentry. Happy Father's Day. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unat Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.